Eric Boso. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Dude, fuck yeah. I fucking love you. Thank you for showing up.
I love you too,
Guys, welcome to Help I'm High, Can't Get Down. This is episode 9. We got my boy, Eric Boso, filmmaker, comedian, fucking everything. He's a writer. Most importantly, I think that's probably your strongest, right? As a writer.
Definitely. I'd say most important to me. Because that way I don't have to decide between comedy and filmmaking.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm just a writer.
Right,
yeah.
right.
You actually won a little radio competition, didn't you, for playwright?
Yeah. One of the filmmaking competitions that I usually partake in during 2021 February. They did a radio version. They're like, we don't want people like making teams and like having little breakthrough areas at each set. So they're like, here, just write or produce a radio play. And I'm like, I don't want to produce shit. Like, sound is like my weakest, strength, for filmmaking. And I decided to just write one and went crazy over the top with a British narrator and like use complete like logorrhea, and it was just like they gave me a little best author award for it, so that was fun. That was good.
I thought if I remember correctly, you thought it was ironic, right? Because the whole competition was not like what the award was for. Was that correct, or is that am I remembering that correct?
Oh, okay. Maybe I told you there were 2 awards given to the written scripts, and it was best author and best script.
Okay.
And I got best author, but not best script. So it's just like I appreciate.
Wait, I feel like best author is better though, right?
Because
best script, you know what I mean? It's like a one-hit wonder.
Right,
but like best author is like consistent hits.
Right. What, man, your dog here.
Dude, she's nuts. Princess, come here, Bobby.
And the white face and the blue eyes.
Dude.
Really?
Hey, you know me, bro.
Fucking dog's got a hood on.
I sometimes put her coat on.
Right,
she's got the little hood. But dude, that's so funny that you're the first person to say that. Oh shoot! So you started doing comedy at Scully's, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was like your first time ever doing stand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yep. I played guitar for an improv group once. But other than that, I hadn't actually done it, but I had hung out with comedians a lot.
Okay.
Like my dad, when I'm healthy, we go down to South by Southwest, which is a film festival, music festival, but it's also like a comedy festival, and like
Princess, come here. Princess.
If you hang out in the right shady alley behind a comedy venue, you meet a lot of people, and it's kind of crazy, like how much of the LA improv crew, especially with the podcasts and all that, and like all the comedy bang bang adjacent comedians, like are just hanging out, smoking weed and joints behind this little place in Austin.
I will say the one thing that when I first came to a little bit off camera, we talked about some people that we know, kind of adjacently, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so like when I came over here, my first like step was to actually not do comedy. It was to do acting. So like
really,
yeah. So when I first moved to Princess, go lay down.
So that was you in that Dragon Ball Z movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That I recognize the hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I first actually came to Columbus, I did this thing with a guy named Colin Botts. I don't know if you know him, but there was like a horror film festival that I don't remember like what I didn't know what the actual thing was.
Was it a film festival or was it like a competition? One of these competition
I think
things?
It was like a competition. I know that it had something to do with Gateway because it's like some of the.
Was it screened there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It might have been that 3 weeks terror. Did you
Yeah,
have 3 weeks
maybe.
to make it? Yeah.
Probably.
I've done this.
Yeah. So that was like my first ever thing that when I came to Columbus, because I was like, I want to do this.
What year was this?
This was like 2014, 15.
Okay. We might have crossed paths.
Yeah, I didn't really spend a lot of time doing everything with them, like at the after parties, and I didn't do all of the stuff. But it was pretty fun. You can put her in her cage if you want. Princess, go lay down.
Dog break.
Yeah. You're in trouble.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah.
Did she pick up on camera? Can people see her?
Yeah.
All right.
Most of the times. She is so unhappy right now. Oh man. But
it's better to look at them, either of us. So.
Exactly. But I was gonna say, man, that was fun. That was my first thing. It was like one of the first times that I'd ever actually seen like people who are local try to like haggle with like business owners to like use their establishments and stuff like that.
And then being a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
else.
we ended up getting a Scrambler Marie's. So that's a breakfast joint, and they close at like 4. So they're like, yeah, you just give us some money and we'll let you guys.
That's pretty lenient. 4 o'clock. You can get breakfast. Okay, all right.
Yeah. And so at 4 o'clock, we had the place from 4 to fucking midnight. And
hell yeah, that's a solid location.
Yeah,
man.
dude, it was. I don't remember.
Well, is there? Can you see like the sun go down in like the window or anything?
Probably.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, we had
shoot the other direction.
They had like this like cool fucking like chandelier room.
Oh
it was
hell
like
yeah!
So they we had
chandelier.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What goes into like finding a location? Like when you
oh Jesus.
Yeah, like
basically everywhere I go in my life, I go, I could make a movie about the employees of this place.
Okay.
Get past that instinct and then just like have it in your back pocket if you really want it, and then if you know you're gonna shoot something and you can implement it, it's just like I'll always be receptive, to that shit. I mean, like, I don't know if you go places and like as a comedian, like experience shit, but like it's the same as being a filmmaker or a producer, specifically. It's like, and it's good as a writer, to know like, oh hey, I know I can write a scene in this restaurant because I'm cool with those guys. So
yeah. So like when I first started, I've actually really wanted to do comedy skits, and like one of the huge things that's like it's like the bar. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Where do you get a bar that's allowed? But I've worked at now 2 places. The first place that I worked at was Studio Movie Grill. It was in Nationwide. It was
I remember that place.
They had the
little first class. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, and I was like
huge spiral staircase. Up there.
I was like, dude, this would be like a really good spot to like film like just like some like skits or whatever. And then the Funny Bone also has like a upstairs like just one-off little bar that's not like super huge, and you actually wouldn't even be bugging the actual business if you're using it. So
I had one short film set at a movie theater, and like it's kind of one of my dreams is to have like a feature film, about Clerks, but at a movie theater.
Yeah, working in a movie theater was crazy, man. Like I definitely I used to be in the know in movies. So like when movies would come out, I'd be like, oh yeah, I wouldn't even know what they were about, but I'd be like, oh yeah, this Denzel Washington movie is coming out, or this is coming out. Right. And like now that I'm not working in the industry, I don't know shit. I'm
right.
Like we were talking about all of the fucking Avenger movies when I was working there. I already knew like when those were going to come out, because they're like, yeah, we know where they're going to come in because we're going to be playing them. So
yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's insane. But what was your first like real like movie that you've done, like you've put together or short film? Or
Man,
what got the journey started?
I think I was an actor in Bong of the Living Dead, and like I met a lot of the
And what year was this? This was 2000.
13 and 14.
Okay.
I think I was cast.
That
like,
was when I
Christmas
graduated high school.
2013.
14.
Yeah. Wow. Fuck. All right.
All right.
Let me think about that for a second, and then process my mortality, and then move on. What was I talking about? Bong of the Living Dead. Yeah. I got the word that I was cast in that. Yeah. December 2013. And then I met a bunch of people. I think the first one I was able to produce and like direct and like write. I co-directed and co-wrote with a guy named Derek Stewart. It was called Underground 35, and it was about a haunted movie that was playing at Studio 35.
Okay.
And like people were getting killed off and whatnot. So
why is like horror the first genre? Like, why is that
I
the
have
biggest
no
genre?
idea. It's like so many people like want to like break in via horror, and it's like there's practical effects, and it's just like making a movie is hard enough, but then like having to get like fake blood and like effects for kills or whatever, it's just like, and you're so like pigeonholed like by the tropes, and
Dude.
so you either have to like do them unironically or like comment on it, and it has like a little bit of scream to it, but it's just like that's not even postmodern anymore. It's just like I don't know, man. I feel trapped by it. Like the last movie I made was that
little
48-hour film festival thing, and you draw your genres out of a hat.
And you just got unlucky.
Yeah, and you draw two, and you get to choose which one. And I drew musical or horror, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is my life. And I mean, I like it.
You should have done musical.
See,
that would have been fun.
Right. Like, I approach horror like I approach anime and rap. It's like there's a lot of bad shit out there, man, but the shit that is good is it's really good. And like that 3 Weeks of Terror thing, it's just like when I'm forced to make a horror movie, like I have to like experiment with it and like be postmodern with it and like be funny and crazy with it, and like that's where I'm most successful. Is that specific like horror competition?
Okay.
It's like because every other, I feel like, and like this is me pretentious like asshole, but I feel like everybody else's is just like we'll make a slasher, so it'll be exactly like this movie, or like we'll make it a monster movie and it'll be exactly like this movie, and they're like they're not. They want to make a movie, not like this movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it's. I mean, I still struggle with like some of the technical aspects and whatnot, but I think the creative part like is really important, and some people lose sight. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, horror is the fucking go-to. That's just like
right.
It just sucks that like because now that we've been talking about it, I was like, damn, like you've done a lot of horror like fucking shit.
Right.
Now that I think about it. Shit. So
and most of my other stuff is a pretty solid, dramedy. Like I always say like somewhere between American Beauty and like Little Miss Sunshine. It's just like those
nice. I'm
drama comedy
when it comes to like TV shows or anything. Like I don't know shit. So
has anybody ever made you watch Big Lebowski? Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
All right,
that's that bad. So
you have to watch it like 3 times before it's good, anyway. So it's fine.
Too late.
Right. If you're gonna watch it 3 times in a row, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Have you ever done like any purely comedy movies or short films or?
Yeah, I've written a couple that were just straight up comedies.
Have they
yeah,
come to
the answer is yes.
fruition or anything? Or?
Yeah. Well, one did. It was for a 48. It wasn't really
Okay.
executed that well. It was before I knew how to operate a camera, and it was like a really last minute,
okay.
like, ugh. But I'm still really proud of the script.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not been really until I started doing stand-up that I was able to, I've always had jokes and I have been writing jokes, and put them in more serious scripts and whatnot. But it's not until I started doing stand-up comedy that I was able to say them all in a row, I guess.
So when and why did you make the transition into stand-up? Like, what made you want to start going up?
Well, Sam Rothstein started that Scully's room, and you know how he is with promotion. It was very much like, hey, come on out, do stand-up comedy and whatnot. And I had just at that time I had just had a seizure and broken my shoulder and fucked up my leg, so I was. My arm. Did you ever know me?
Yeah, I remember you went on stage one time, and then I went up, and I was like, I said, I remember this. I was like, I'm glad that Walt Jr.'s finally found a new,
right,
outlet.
right. So like I knew it was gonna be like, I'm going to be looked at and stared at, whatever, no matter what. And so it's just like, you know what, fuck it. And like, I had the note cards, so there was also like an additional bit, it was kind of like a safe, entry, I joke that walking with a cane was kind of a crutch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had always wanted to do it, and I always like hung out with comedians at South by anyway, and like I think some of them assumed that I already was.
Okay.
I'm funny looking. People.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Right. People at Shark like all the time say, you look like a comedian. Thanks.
You talk. I was gonna say you have the cadence and the talking of I feel like of someone who is a writer. That's like what I get. Like when I watch like a interview with like a director or something like that, the way you answer questions and stuff like that.
I'll take it.
He uses words like contemporary and stuff like that. I'm just like, I am an uneducated person. And he's just like, it's like, what does that even mean, dude? What are you talking about? Postmodern film. I'm like, this is modern times, isn't it? What does postmodern mean?
Well, okay. All right. Have you seen that history comedy thing on CNN? That documentary
on
thing?
CNN?
Yeah.
No.
It was from a couple years ago, but they put it up on HBO. Postmodern is basically. Okay. In terms of comedy, people have been coming up and I am postmodern, because old school comedian would just recite a joke, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's been set as the standard, you know what I mean? And it's like that's already in like the cultural osmosis, and it's like when you make something that's commenting on or like using something and then addressing the tropes of it is like being meta is a kind of postmodern type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Who is that fucking artist who had the Campbell's soup and the pictures of the celebrities and the different colors and shit?
Not Andy Warhol.
Yeah. Andy Warhol. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm
not that uneducated. Hell yeah.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, you're right. It's just like he. I don't know. He took what your image of a celebrity is, and it's just like whoa, fuck with shit. It's just fucking with the status quo,
Okay.
That's postmodern.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you get it?
Maybe. So I don't. Because some people's jokes I could say would be following the post, like what you're saying, but like
Right.
I
Other
wouldn't say
people's
them
aren't.
as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
whole.
not everybody. Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that there are like like I would say like my type of jokes. Like I feel like I have jokes that comment on
Right.
like the meta or whatever, but most of the time I feel like I probably follow the more
Right.
the joke structure, just recite the joke. So I feel like I'm probably more of a modern
Right.
classical comic.
Right.
I don't know.
You're straightforward. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think a lot of, or at least what I perceive of your stuff is that like you kind of take the sense of vilification, that from either side to the other, you know what I mean, of the political spectrum, and then you just kind of like lean into it because it is a little bit absurd. But like,
yeah, it doesn't really work that well for me. The best
because that fucking gun control.
Oh yeah,
punchline.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can insert that into this somehow.
Yeah,
so people will have the context.
Where I talk about gun control, and I just say that it's like, if we had better gun control in this country, the guys that do these mass shootings would have easily doubled their numbers.
Right.
And then I just go into,
because at the beginning of that joke, I know you're not a pro gun control person.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, where the fuck is he going?
Dude, I remember doing that joke at the Quarry one time, and it was such a weird day. Because that day I had fucking people walk out.
Because like even conservatives would be like, like what the fuck,
dude? Exactly. Because when I did a set and I got two people to walk outside to smoke a cigarette because I had said like retard a few times, and they were like upset about that, and then like this group of people came over and they started watching me and they were really like hyped by my stuff, and then I started doing the gun control joke, and the one guy was like, but you might have been there for that one, the girl bought me the shot. Were you there for that?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, maybe you might have been there for that one, but that one was weird because the dude was like, boo! He was like booing me like at my gun control joke, and I was like, dude, it's just a fucking joke. Like I'm not like I'm not up here
clearly
like
not
stating my sexuality, like you know what I mean. I'm not like declaring what side I'm on,
You're right. It is such a given that you're not pro shooting children that like you have to see it as an absurdity type of thing.
Oh, dude, yeah, that joke sometimes gets,
and it's like mixing politics and like absurdity is just like kind of like a dangerous ground, but like it could be great because that shit is kind of absurd to a degree.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's how my stuff is that either everybody's digging it or they're not. There's not really if there's a large group of people who aren't enjoying it, if there are people in the crowd that are enjoying it, they won't show it at all.
Right.
I've definitely seen some dudes when they're hanging out with like their dates or whatever, and I can see that see them laughing. They're just but it's quiet, and I'm just like, oh man,
dude, yeah.
I'm like, dude, leave her, she's holding you back.
See, I usually get the girls with the dumb, corny bullshit.
Yeah, dude, you do have some pretty good ones that you've been coming up with recently. You've been getting some new one-liners out, haven't you? Recently?
Yeah. I try.
One-liners are like one of those things that I find really hard.
Yeah. It's harder to get inspiration for it.
Yeah.
Like usually it's just like somebody will say, hey, Kid Cudi dropped an album. And then, like, my dumb brain goes, oh, did he drop it on the ground? And then, like, I make a joke out of it, And it's all, like, context because it's all language-based.
It's funny
but I have such a character presentation, that I've
What did you grow up on? Like, what did you grow up doing?
Stephen, wait,
like
comedy? Or
like, just, like, when you started, like, for example, like, when I first started really getting into stuff, I was really into music and like Jack Black and Weird Al. So like that was like kind of like what built the foundation, and then it turned into like, you know, Lonely Island. They got added on, and then Bo Burnham later on and stuff like that. So like, what would you say was like your main?
You know,
because you have a very like YouTube skit, funny, like,
like the presentation of that shit is like against everything I stand for. But go on.
But I'm talking like a YouTube like comedy, or like maybe like just comedy skit like type of like humor where it's like dumb, not like, you know what I mean. The SNL type of humor sometimes where they hit like, you know, it's not like necessarily funny because it's like actually funny, but because it's like dumb.
Right.
Yeah. Like Whitest Kids You Know, like you've seen like their stuff, right?
Yeah. I have my issues with them because they go loud a lot. Like a lot of the end of their sketches is they're going, but like Civil War and Drugs is great, and like I appreciate what they do a lot. And
I just saw one recently that was I don't know exactly what the skit was about because it was like on TikTok or whatever, but I think it might have been like Jury Duty or whatever, and the fucking Trevor or whatever the fucking main dude is, he walks up to like a black guy and he was like, I have something to tell you. I'm a little bit racist. And then he was like, no, you're not. And then he was like, what? And he's like, yes, I am. He's like, you're not a racist. He's like, call me the N-word. And he was like, I was just like, oh, this is hilarious. Right. And it was so funny because the black guy in the skit gave me like Xavier vibes. Like when he was like, no, you're not. Like he just had the very
right.
Yeah, you know, the Xavier face,
direct matter of fact. Like, come on.
Dude, I love Xavier. He'll tell you when something's good, and he'll also tell you when something's not. Damn. But so, what would you say that your main inspiration was then, growing up?
For comedy, like what I idealized was like a Stephen Wright, Mitch Hedberg type, and then later on I found that Emo Phillips guy. Who, like, I've been
recently
accused of pastiching, so we say. I don't really like him any more than those other guys, but like I think it's kind of a spectrum where like Stephen Wright would just kind of like no sell his one-liners, you know. I spilled spot remover on my dog and he disappeared. And then Mitch Hedberg, you know, he would tell the one-liners, but he had that character about him, you know. But he would say he spoke a little strange, you know. And then Emo Phillips,
I've never actually seen Emo.
Oh man, I don't want. I wouldn't do him justice. But maybe you want to do some post-production and drop in a clip here.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I've never really looked into him. I would say that like when it comes to comedy, I'm actually still pretty like raw. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, I don't like have a lot of influences.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, like a little. Like, honestly, though. But like when I was a kid, I when Shrek came out, I literally had his voice down to a T. I could do his voice. Like I would say that growing up, I spent a lot of time like trying to impersonate people, and trying to, just get what they were doing, because like Jack Black, for example, he's got like such a crazy vocal range,
right?
And it's like if you can like sing one of his songs like in its entirety, it's like your voice is probably just as good as his. You know what I mean? So that's like something that I practice a lot of, is just like trying to like impersonate these people, trying to like, do all that. So
it's great because he's doing a caricature of rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like
and that's like the thing that like I think that's my favorite. Yeah. So my favorite thing is somebody who can go into something, do it so well, and not take it seriously. Because it's like Jack Black, like if you put him on like rock and roll, like, you know, whatever, like he would probably be on a list of people that are in the top, you know, whatever, because he's like fucking talented at guitar. He can sing. It's like, yeah. So Emo Phillips, fucking Mitch Hedberg,
Stephen Wright.
Damn. What's your favorite Mitch Hedberg joke?
What's
What's the one that gets you? What's the one?
I mean, it's like, more his character, really, as a running, but his escalators, temporarily stairs, like
when they stop.
Yeah, like I have a little sequel to that joke with my electric toothbrush.
Oh yeah.
And now it's just
toothbrush. People hate on that joke so hard. I feel like sometimes when you tell it, like not like in the back or anything, but like when you're telling it, like people are so hesitant because they're just like.
I mean, some like some jokes will get a oh rather than a ha ha.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man, shut up. Tell the next one,
dude.
You know?
I hate it. Well, I don't know if I like really hate it or not, but it's like when I'm doing my jokes, I always get like the one like black dude or minority in the crowd that's like pointing at me and clapping and like yeah. So like,
dude, I remember there was one time when there was like an Asian guy like
dude
right there at the bar, like
dude,
they call you out of like what's gonna happen.
Dude,
is he gonna do it?
Dude, I did. And it was so funny because at first I was like, is this guy gonna get mad at this Asian joke? And then at first he didn't look like
at the series of Asian jokes.
Yeah. I was like, is he gonna be down for this one? And then I was doing the joke and he like didn't seem like too impressed, but like throughout the entire rest of the set he was like pointing at me and I was like
oh, and he went on to get way trashed. Do you remember that night?
Oh,
were you there for the rest of that? That was a saber pipe, right?
Yeah. You remember that guy though? Because
Yeah.
actually it was funny because when I actually went up, I couldn't tell. I wasn't 100% sure if he was Asian because I was like, he looks like he's got a little bit of white in him, so I couldn't tell. So.
He's only half offended.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem is I'm just getting all the halves, and they're just like, yeah, I agree with the white half of what you're saying. No, it's weird because I feel like sometimes my jokes get lots of laughter, and sometimes they don't.
Right? Yeah.
And that's why it's hard for me because then everyone's like, Eddie, you're such, all your jokes are horrible, and then I'm like. But people laugh, and I'm like, and it is a jaded thing because I've talked about this with some other comedians where it's like, am I doing my jokes for the people who are out at the bars, or am I doing my jokes for the comedians?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes a comedian will tell me that they're not a fan of my a joke of mine, but like it like is consistently getting laughs, or you know what I mean?
All crowds are different,
yeah,
but the comedian crowd will always be the same.
Yeah.
And like some crowds are more comedians, you know what I mean? So doing something on a Monday at Drunken, versus like
Saber Pint.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like Saber Pint's probably one of my favorite mics.
Right.
It's
definitely the toughest for me at
really?
Least because there's the comedians are more, visible, and the people at the bar are the people that you're trying to get attention to.
Yeah. And
I don't know. I've bombed there more often than
I was gonna say I feel like I get the best work there done.
Right.
You know what
Definitely,
I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like when I'm at the Shrunken Head, like there are some times when I'll go up and I'll see comedians sitting down and I'll just be like, I don't know if I want to do this joke, because either certain people are in the crowd and I'm like, I know I'm going to get shit for this, or you know what I mean? Or you just like, sometimes I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to work on stuff that's either safer or I've been doing for long enough, so it's not new to whatever they think.
I mean,
of me.
me too. I mean, you notice that I've had a couple new ones recently, so it's like I definitely stick to the old stuff. But I still find ways to connect it and set it up differently. You know?
So, when did you start incorporating like comedy into your like writing? So like you started doing like film stuff. Did you start doing comedy first, or did you start doing film? How'd the transition work?
No, it was always wanting to be funny. You know, I didn't really want to be like the funny guy in the room, but I consumed a lot of like comedy and whatnot, and like I always wanted to be a writer. I knew that, and I knew I always wanted it to be funny. Maybe I don't know if that the funny part was always there, but like, you know, when I started, you know, writing things and making videos, short films and whatnot, it's like I was always going to be funny.
Did you ever do the YouTube thing?
No, that was kind of after my time. You know, like
so you're
existed,
32.
But
Okay,
yeah.
I guess it was, like 6 years is kind of a lot, like a huge difference.
Right. If anything, like I would have done like a Flash video. You remember those? That was like the big medium. You know, at the time.
Dude, I it's funny because now that I'm like in like entertainment, like I've done like all sorts of stuff. Like I was a huge YouTube baby growing up. Like I learned everything that I know from YouTube. So it's like I've done animation through YouTube. I've learned how to build websites through YouTube. Like I've done it all. And so it's definitely funny because I grew up a little bit poorer, so I didn't have a lot of the stuff when like things were coming out. Like I didn't have it then, so it was like when I got it, it was everyone's already done with the trend, and I'm just like, well, shit, this is like it's hard to innovate when you're like behind. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. So you didn't do the YouTube thing. You could have done Flash. You didn't.
Right. Well, I'm just saying that was the closest thing
the closest thing to like
right.
breakouts that you could have had.
All the Newgrounds
Dude,
and all that stuff was more popular than
YouTube
when I was
Quest
going up
here.
Those Metal Gear Awesome videos where they like kind of like summarize that.
Newgrounds.com is the craziest shit. I just remember my friend, and when I was younger, like he was like, dude, you need to like check out this website. He's like, here's this link, you need to watch this, it's Zelda. And I was like, okay, hell yeah. So I'm watching it, and it's called
Link to Zelda.
Yeah. I was like, Link's Quest to Ass, and he's going through this entire world, and Mega Man's involved, and all these other characters, and I'm just like, dude, this
first
is nuts.
Cross media, like, fucking Space Jam 2 up in here.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like Ready Player One.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that stuff was crazy. Toss the Turtle, all that shit. They had like those crazy games. So, fuck. So you did a lot of comedy writing. You liked comedy always. You've always known you wanted to be a writer. So what's next? What's your goals now?
I'd say once I get past all my current medical maladies, a feature film for sure. So, and maybe like a tour, things that I can't do as a comedian right now.
Yeah,
you know. So,
do they think that there's going to be an end to your medical thing?
Yeah.
Like, is there like a foreseeable end, or like? Because to my understanding, so your kidney produces a protein,
bone marrow.
Oh, your bone marrow produces a protein that your kidney's like, nah, I can't.
Right.
Can't
and they cured me of that, and so now all I need is another kidney transplant.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I've had one in the past, but it was before they cured me of the other shit, so it was a whole clusterfuck.
Now it is a little fucked up because when I was listening to the podcast, like the comedy part of my brain is like, dude, like what happens if like, you know, you got a kidney and then you come back, you're like,
fucks up again.
You know what I mean? You're just they're just like, dude, we already gave you one, bro.
Right.
Do you know how long this list is?
Right. They already gave me my mom's.
Yeah.
And then went through the whole fucking bullshit. And now, like...
Was your mom pissed? She's like, God damn it, Eric.
We're both
this is why your parents broke up. This is why we broke up.
That was
Because
years
you can't produce
ago.
proteins.
Right.
I could tell you were too
They
thin.
were looking at this 4-year-old and they're like, you know what? This kid's gonna be chronically ill. I'm out.
But dude, isn't it crazy though? Because you were talking about how like you still saw them together a lot in the hospital.
No, that was the only time I saw them
Oh,
together.
okay, yeah.
It's like
But that isn't that interesting that they still separated, but like you still kind of had them
right
together.
Yeah, at the one time. This was great. Like one family unit for once.
So, okay, so you got this disease, or you don't have this disease anymore. So what's the whole deal now? Are you still getting dialysis? How's that work?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So
dialysis does what a healthy
kidney does.
Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. Okay.
And that's 3 times a week for 3 hours and 45 minutes.
3 hours and 45 minutes.
Yep. And they put 2
Is
needles.
that in your home, or do you have to go somewhere?
No, I go to a dialysis clinic, and they put 2 needles in this crazy ass boner I got in my arm.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's hardcore, man.
Damn.
I've been doing that for like 2.5 years at this point.
Okay. So, was it scary at first?
Yeah. But like I had done it. I had been on it before my first transplant too.
Okay.
So like, I'm used to it by now.
Okay. And so you found out about this when?
When I was like 25, 26 or something.
Oh, shit.
Like, kidneys started to, get fucked up from this bone marrow thing. They're like, what the fuck is this? We couldn't find what it was. They thought it was a kidney issue, not a bone marrow issue.
Do they know
like,
why your bone marrow was doing that?
It's just some disease that they have a name for.
Oh.
And it's just, no, that's this. That's
And
when
you
this
can
happens.
get rid of the disease, so it's
Well, they
cured.
treated it. Yeah.
Okay.
I got
Can
it.
it come back?
I don't know. I don't think so. Haven't asked that particular question.
It's very interesting to me because like I feel like there's a lot of doctors that do a lot of good stuff, but then I talk to a lot of friends who have a lot of issues with them medically, who are going to these doctors, and a lot of these doctors are fucking idiots. Like they don't know what's going on with them, like or like they are misdiagnosing them with like things like, oh, I think you have migraines, but it's actually fucking you're having mini seizures. You know what I mean? Like just like stupid stuff like that. And I'm like, how is that happening? Like you're a medical doctor. Like,
well, there's so many like specialists that
like, did you ever get misdiagnosed with stuff? Like, did you go to the doctor and they were like, he's got leukemia?
Right.
And they're like, oh no. And then
that's like, they thought I had kidney disease 376YZ, and they're like, oh, I'll just give him a new kidney, and then they did that, and then that new fresh kidney still couldn't process the bone marrow proteins.
So so is that just the protein is just unhealthy? Like, is there kidneys out there that could process it? Like, are there humans?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Just a poisonous
right?
fucking
Yeah. I mean, like, what I'm really fatalistic about it was just like, nature wants me dead. So we kind of like,
my blood is poison.
my bones are.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But I got some stem cells in there, and like, they grew healthy.
Oh hell yeah!
Shit.
Hell
so,
yeah, guys.
Yeah. My bones are better now.
All right.
Because I donated my own stem cells too.
Oh shit!
That's fucking crazy.
How does that work?
Where
did they take it? Semen?
They stick 2 needles into this thing in my arm. It was the same thing. The same thing as a dialysis thing, but instead of like it cleaning the blood, it like took all the stem cells out of it and then gave me my blood back. But it was the same thing as dialysis. So I was, oh great, cool.
Interesting.
Another one of these procedures.
But this one was the one that ended up helping you.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dialysis still helps me.
Yeah.
It helps my body.
Just like cleans out your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like drink a lot or something, or like
no?
Like before
alcohol is more liver, and it's no. And again, it's not a kidney thing; it's bone marrow thing. So.
Yeah, that's weird.
I didn't inject anything into my bone marrow. No. It's just I'm a medical freak.
Snap. Okay, that's interesting to me, because I was like, so
anomaly. I'm an anomaly.
so how long did it take for them to actually figure it out? So you got a kidney.
I guess from when I first started like showing signs of kidney failure to when they got an actual correct diagnosis, it was like 5 years.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
That's a long time. You could have been dead. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, and mental health. Like, if somebody has like bipolar or like autistic or this or that or the other, anything on that like spectrum, like to get a correct diagnosis and a correct like pill or whatever can take like even longer than that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's like the thing that like really sucks, I feel, about like all this, like, you know, people getting on like Abilify and like Ritalin and all this stuff. It's like a lot of times these people aren't like taking the time to like really figure out what's going on.
Right.
And I think, and this is like one of those things where it's like, not that I don't trust any institution whatsoever, but it's just that like, I think
psychologists rather than psychiatrists.
Yeah, I would just much rather people like spend more time being a little bit more in tune with themselves,
right?
Because I feel like a lot of times like people just go straight to, you know, whatever extreme. They're like, oh, like I feel sad, so I must be depressed or whatever. It's like sometimes they don't really look at their life. You know, what are you eating? What are you going outside? You know, are you walking? You know, what are you doing? So it's interesting that it took fucking that long to get a diagnosis.
Oh, they gave me plenty of diagnosis.
Oh yeah. What one was like the craziest one? Did they like any cancers?
No. It was just various kidney stuff, and like they put me on like different chemo pills and a whole bunch of different regimens, like as my kidneys are failing, and then like finally they were just like dead, and I needed dialysis. So
you still got your hair, so that's good.
Yeah.
Was it like better when you were younger, or is it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like when I had to do this most recent round of chemo was when I did that bone marrow transplant thing to like wash it down or whatever, and like
how long ago was that?
This was 2019.
Oh snap!
I believe. Yep. And I shaved in preparation for that. Everything but the sideburns, and then the sideburns.
Yeah.
And then
you got some good sideburns.
It's grown back, but it's definitely not as thick.
Have you thought about doing like keeps or like the Rogaine or
not really?
No,
I'm not worried about it. I'll just see where it lies, and I'm pretty tall, so people don't see the top of my head that often. So
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it doesn't like look bad.
Right.
It just like looks like you're getting older.
It definitely is notable.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm still upset with you because you used to have long hair and it was cool and not goofy or stupid or anything. Dude, I was like, you do better not cut your hair, man. And he talked about cutting his hair for a long time, and he finally did it. Dude. God damn it.
Dude, isn't it? Like, it's so crazy because it's like, so this is like the second time that I've cut my hair. The first time I was like, all right, I'm going to cut my hair because I want to get laid. Because there was this girl that was like, she met me, and then she immediately told my friend that she was like interested, and I was like, oh, dude, nice. So I'm like,
I can do anything.
I'm like, I'm going to cut my hair, get it all. And then she was like, I liked your hair longer. And I was like, no. And then there are like some girls who are like, I'm glad you cut your hair. It looks so much better. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Those girls sound stupid to me.
You hear that? Any of you women that love short hair, you're stupid.
Simps.
I was going to say it's very interesting because like I get totally different, like, you know, actors and everything. Like growing up when I was like at my most fit, I was getting lots of Property Brothers. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
with the short hair.
Yeah.
I was getting Property Brothers a lot, the Jonas Brothers. I got them a lot,
Mhm.
and then as I started like looking older, people started calling me John Travolta, and
Hey.
the crescent eyes.
But young John Travolta, though. Yeah.
I'm just like, dude. There was one time I've already told this story, but I went to a fucking McDonald's and some person handed me a drink, turned around and then flipped open the door again because she's like, I thought you were John Travolta, and I was like, whoa,
Man.
yeah, that's
they're
crazy.
living in the past.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're,
I was like,
you're a young man. His facial structure has changed
Yeah, dude.
significantly since
dude,
his
he
prime.
looks old.
Mhm,
He looks old. Is he gay?
I don't think so. He okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, see, this is one
I
of
thought
the,
he was just like Scientologist or whatever, or is that somebody else?
Is that? I think that's also the same thing.
Oh, right.
Is Tom Cruise gay? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I
No,
don't-
because he was with what's her face, Katie Holmes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, because I know that was a rumor for a little while, because John Travolta, one of my friends, the guy that did that horror film with me, he was working with John Travolta when he came to Columbus to do his little whatever that was.
Yeah.
And I just remember when he showed up, that was like the talk, is that like John Travolta was caught with like a dude or with like a, I don't remember. Maybe, yeah, look this up. I don't want to be talking shit about John Travolta. He's going to come and kill me.
What, if he's gay?
Yeah. Is that what you're looking up? I was like,
Look up if Scientology makes you gay.
Aha. We don't want a Lee Pace situation.
are you religious?
No, I'm spiritual to an extent, but
Hell
not religious.
Do you, what's like the extent of your spirituality? Like, is there like things that you've read that you kind of like, yeah, I vibe with this?
No, it's more philosophy than
Okay.
when it comes to that kind of thing. But simulation theory, etc., and whatnot. But I don't know. I feel like we kind of assimilate into the universe after we die.
Yeah.
We are everything as opposed to a part of a thing. So
It is very funny because it's like when you really break down like super crazy scientific discussions, like if you really think about what they're saying, like it sounds just as crazy as a fucking religious, whatever a religious scholar in like 2,000 years ago was saying, like, we're all one with God. When we die, we'll go back into God. But it's like, but then, you'll listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's like, we all have atoms in our body. And when the atoms will go back into space. And then you're like, wait a minute. Isn't that what they were saying? I was like, how much did they actually know? Like, you know what I mean? So that's actually one of the things one of the biggest things that I want to do in my life at some point, like beside comedy, is I want to like I want to figure out what is going on, like how much did they actually know? What was their understanding? What did these ancient people actually have like a better understanding?
Ancient aliens.
Yeah, something like that, where it's like maybe these people actually knew like as much as we know scientifically, but it was just like they just said it differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I mean, you look at the fucking pyramids, you look at all that shit that they
built.
built.
They understood that things fall down before they knew what gravity was. I mean, like you can
kind of figure the world out a little bit.
Things,
yeah.
Like the truth is there, whether
yeah, exactly,
you know it or not.
Interesting. Yeah. I was going to say, it's funny, though, too, because you live in Clintonville, and I feel like Clintonville's like a huge witchy area. Dude.
Okay. All right.
I used to have this,
I
had this, like, really hot roommate or not roommate. I guess he was hot, too, but there was a neighbor girl that was, like, so beautiful. Oh, my God. But she she's like a witch, like a witchy
Word.
girl. Yeah, dude. And then they have like the mystical druid in Clintonville.
Right.
Yeah, yep. I think is that was it
Oh,
called?
is this on like California Avenue and High Street?
It might
I
be.
don't remember.
Yeah.
I
It's
know
down
where
there.
you're at.
Yeah, Pacemont or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's dude, I love that area. I know I've talked to you about this already, but like Clintonville, you have my heart. It's just like the best fucking neighborhood. Like I would walk my dog around and
Right.
like people would just be outside and you would just say, "Hey, what's up?" Like especially during the pandemic, like when you live in like a smaller town that's not really in the city, people are still like down to talk to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I always see fucking Eric Boso doing fucking pictures. You start doing like pictures
Photography.
now. Photography.
Yeah. I'm deep into it.
Yeah.
That's good shit. I
How
like
long
that.
have you been doing that for?
I'd say like maybe 5 years at this point, and it was just
You started with film first, correct?
with video.
Yeah, video.
first. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's all digital. But then I got a camera at one point just to learn the stuff so I could shoot movies later. And then you kind of if you learn how to shoot video, you kind of have to learn how to do photography too. And
Because that's like the first step,
yeah,
Because you have to
you
What's
have to
harder?
take 24 photos per second.
Yeah.
For videos.
So would you say then that photography is harder then?
I think it's almost easier.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's different, but it's
'Cause
easier for me.
See, I was going to say, because that's one of the things that I have an issue with is that, and this is like one of the things that, like, why I've kind of started the podcast is that I have a problem communicating my ideas efficiently sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, if I know the thing, like, if I'm trained on something and I like
Right.
know how to do something, I can train
Well,
you very well.
That's what comedy is.
Yeah.
So you've got what's funny about it, and then you're trying to communicate it.
And so the problem is I'm like trying to figure out how to like take the idea and like make it into like the object or the project or whatever. And so it's like with film for me, because I've always really wanted to get into comedy skits and writing and filming, like Comedy Central, like Key and Peele type skits,
Right. Yeah.
and but like my problem is that I don't have like that director's like I don't have the way to bring it to fruition. I have the vision, I have like the idea, I can get it going maybe,
Right.
but I can't like ever take it to the thing.
It's producing is a lot of it.
Yeah.
Directing is part of it, but in producing is a lot of it.
Yeah.
To make the shit happen. But I mean, you got all this shit. You know what's up.
Yeah,
So.
I was gonna say. I mean, like I said, I've done everything. So I've done video game streaming. I've done fucking. I used to make fucking art for people. I used to like do like graphic design for people who streamed and stuff like that. So I've done all sorts of like entertainment. I've dabbled in everything, and it's like what animation is fun. Honestly, if I was like going to be honest, I think that animation and voice acting, not doing the animation, but like the making of the cartoon and everything, that to me sounds like it's so much fun. Like if I could get on like South Park or Rick and Morty or something like that, I think that like I would just like lose my fucking mind. You know what I mean?
Like as voice actor or like writer or like what?
I mean, I want to learn to write because it's like my weakest spot. Because like when growing up, I was always math, science, history, but I could never reading and comprehending was just like not my deal. It's what happens when you grow up in a poor rural town. It's just like that's your work. You know how to fucking count money, but you don't know. How to
and you're also colorblind.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're colorblind too.
So that was just hell yeah. So pictures. You have anything else on your mind you want to talk about? You got any shows coming up or?
No, I haven't scheduled out my juniors shows for 2022 here.
Okay.
My life. No, I mean you know pretty much all of it. I'm gonna make another short film here in February. There's another contest coming up.
Hell yeah. So where are you finding these contests? Like, where can people, like, if somebody wanted to like
Oh,
go
yeah.
and like try to attempt to make a short film or something like that,
Oh,
or like,
well,
or whatever.
Right. Well, this particular one is out of Cincinnati.
Okay.
But if you're local and you want to like get involved in that stuff, the Mid Ohio Filmmakers Association Facebook group is a pretty great resource, and they'll have people like trying to make shit and trying
It's
to get
so
shit
funny
started. Are you on there?
I think so, because literally I have a friend that lives in Chicago who he's
Chicago.
an actor, and he literally every time he would like come to my house to hang out with one of my roommates, he was like friends with him, and he was like, hey, have you like joined that thing yet? Have you joined that thing yet? Like, I would like, tell you, like,
dude.
you need to join that thing. Like, do it. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I did theater, fucking film. You ever done theater?
Yeah. In when I was going to Columbus State Community College for film, but I would drop out eventually. But I took some acting classes, and for an extra credit, you could try out for the play.
Oh, shoot.
And like I did it, and then I got in, and then I took the next level, the acting class, and it was the same thing. If you try out for the play, you get extra credit. Like, okay, I'll do it again. And then, like I was like, was good at it, and I did like 4 plays there, I think.
What were they? Do you
Columbus
remember?
State.
Any like big ones?
No. There was one about the day they shot John Lennon in 1980. There was one about the Kent State shootings, which is 1970.
What's wrong with these guys? Like, why are they doing like school shooting plays? They're just like,
I mean, like, go to community college and they teach you to be a homo libtard agenda.
They're trying to like teach you communism, and it's like, look what communism can bring to these schools. And John Lennon.
I mean, Kent State, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
I don't really know the story behind it.
You
Like-
it's pretty clear cut that it's
Like a
government bad. Like,
Whoa.
let's use the National Guard to scare these protesters into shutting the fuck up.
Yeah,
type
dude.
thing. So.
They've done that a few times, dude. They've done that a few times. Yeah.
I got during the protest summer 2020. I was streaming with my camera, and I got shot with like 3 wooden bullets, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
And that was either the National Guard or the local police.
Yeah, dude.
Couldn't tell the difference. They were all camoed out and shit.
Bro,
It's fucked
like,
up.
I know that, like, I went out one of the nights at the protest, and it was like, and it wasn't even like anything about the whatever, like what it was about, but like I just noticed that like during the coronavirus, I was like watching everybody and how like unsafe everybody, like we're all packed in together, no one's wearing masks, and I was just like, dude, this is bad. I didn't go back out after that. I was like, I'm just gonna chill. And then that was when everybody's like, oh, we're getting shot, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay inside, I guess. Like, if there are bullets flying everywhere, yeah, man. Clintonville, that was like an easy spot to hit protests though, because in fucking protests.
Right there on Broad. Yeah.
I showed up as Trump to an anti-Trump protest.
You're making the most out of your Halloween costume.
Yeah. Well, actually, that was what I bought. I bought it because I wanted to do comedy skits as Trump.
Right.
But then, like, it just got too divisive and everything, and I was just like, I also was
Too divisive for you?
Yeah. Well, I was much more nervous back then.
Gotcha.
Like now I'm like more willing to poke the bear. If I would have started right after high school, I would have gone full force. I would have not been a pussy. But I've done a lot of drugs now, so it's like
okay.
you know what I mean?
Word.
But, yeah. So now I'm like, I have a little bit more empathy. But
I got you.
All right, guys. Well, you said you have no shows yet, but you have any like websites or anything that we can put up?
No, just
or like maybe films like we can like put up for you.
Yeah. We'll plug the links in the description
Hell
here,
yeah,
or
I
even
gotcha.
like show a little clip during the show.
yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh,
Put you
snap.
on the spot there.
Oh, snap.
And then on Instagram, I'm at Eric_Boso_, and it's the same as my Twitter.
Hell yeah, guys.
And I do a lot of promotion through Facebook as well. So if we're
Yeah,
not
dude.
friends, what the fuck are you doing,
Yeah,
man?
why not? All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This has been Eric Boso, episode 9. We'll see you guys around.
9 gang.
Gang, gang.